Hello crafters, it's Becky from Sheet Mouldings here, and I'm going to show you how to bend mouldings. It's super easy. Whether you need to conform a moulding to a curved surface, or whether you're running it along a frame, a rounded mirror, or even creating a rounded edge yourself. So is your moulding suitable to be bent? This one here, it'll become a little tiara. You can see it's really nice and thin, it'll heat evenly, it won't take too long to heat, and it will bend without cracking on the top surface. When you bend, this is getting wider, so if you bend it too much, you'll get little cracks coming down in this surface here. Right, so make sure you're going to be in a ventilated space to be doing this. I'm wearing gloves just to protect my hands. They're just gardening gloves. It does get quite hot. And the other really useful thing is to make sure that you have a form to bend it around. If you're putting it on a piece of curved furniture, that will be your form. I am also going to use some masking tape here to just hold the moulding down while it's cooling. And you can either use a hairdryer or a heat gun. I love this heat gun. Digital, you can set the temperature. If you're working above it, you can put it down like this if you need two hands to hold a moulding and heat it from below. Heat guns are a lot quicker. Hairdryers don't tend to run as hot, so this is my preference, but a hairdryer will do the job. Right, so let's start heating this up. It will be a little bit noisy. Now, for this moulding here, I'm going to be bending it around this roll of electrical tape here. I want to create a little round edge. I have chosen something smaller than the length of the circumference. This circumference is smaller than this length, and you'll see why in a minute. So you can see it starting to bend now. I'm moving the heat around on it so that it doesn't burn. I'm going to turn it over and do the other side. Make sure it's really nice and you can see how floppy that is now. It feels quite rubbery. Right, so let's start and bend this around this here. You can do this quite slowly the first time if you like, but it will cool off quite fast. You can see that I'm overlapping it here. And don't worry that it goes a bit higher. The point is that this stays on the edge. It'll give you a really nice join later on. Right, I'm going to just tape that down. And while we're waiting for this to cool, we can do the other one. Now, for the other one, I'm going to be conforming it around this here. It'll give us a nice tiara shape, so let's start heating that one up. I tend usually to heat from the back, especially you can buy sheet mouldings pre-painted. In that case, I would always go from the back because heat like this can bubble and remove paint. But with a thicker moulding, you'll probably want to go from the front as well, in which case I wouldn't do that with a pre-painted moulding. Right, make sure the ends are also the same temperature, because the ends tend to be the bit that don't want to go down. They want to sort of pop up. There we go. You can see that conforms really nicely. I'm just going to pop that on there so I can show you what I'm doing here. Bit of tape here. Make sure that's nice and straight. A bit of tape the other side, and I've run out of tape. And of course, now that I need the tape really fast, I can't find the end. There we go. Right, there we go. So we just leave those for a little while. Now, if you don't quite get it right and you need to reheat it, that is fine. Just be aware that the more times you reheat it, especially to a high temperature, the more brittle it will eventually become. It doesn't matter if it's brittle once you have adhered it onto your project, because the project, whatever you'd adhered it to, will give it support and help a lot. Another thing to remember is resin does have a memory, so if you happen to have bent something and leave it in a warm place, you'll notice that it unbends pretty fast. I'll demonstrate that here actually. Obviously I'm going to be speeding this up, but here is one I've bent earlier. You'll notice that it just starts to uncurl all on its own. And it will want to go almost back to its completely straight original position in which it was cast. There we go. So there, that's demonstrated that. Now, you might find that you split a moulding. I'm just going to split one for you just to show you what happens. I don't know if you can see there. You probably can't. But it's a bit split. So what to do in that case is quickly put it back to where it was before it was split and just let it cool down. Once it's cooled down, it'll still be slightly flexible because resin is very slightly flexible, especially at this thickness. I like to go in and use, I love this glue, Instacure, Bob Smith Industries. They do a range of cyanoacrylate glues. No, I'm not sponsored. I just think this is a great product. I've been using it for years. So it's a type of super glue, basically, cyanoacrylate glue. And I use what we call a kicker with it. It just, Instaset it's called, and it just makes it cure really fast, which means that you don't have to hold it in place for ages. I'll put links to all these in the below. Right, let's have a look at our result then. So, remove the tape. And there you have it. You've got a really perfect, nice round. And what I will do later on is I'll chop that there. It means I've got a really nice edges that butt up to each other properly. Otherwise it's going to look like that, which I don't want. I want these to butt up nicely. And this one here, let's remove that. And there you have it, a really beautifully, perfectly bent tiara. You can find all these mouldings on the Chic Mouldings website. I'll link below, and I'll also put our social media below. Thanks very much for watching.